INFJs are often described as warm and empathetic. However, there's an often overlooked side to them, one that can come off as surprisingly intimidating. That's what we will be breaking down in this video. A significant source of their intimidating aura lies in their emotional and psychological depth. INFJs are not content with surface-level conversations or superficial relationships. They crave depth, authenticity, and purpose in everything they do, including their interactions with others. This intense inward focus often translates to a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be validated by external approval. That alone can be unsettling. Many people are used to others who seek affirmation, who are loud in their self-promotion or outward energy. INFJs move differently. They watch, they listen, and they understand. Part of what makes INFJs so striking is their ability to see through people. Their dominant function, introverted intuition, allows them to absorb patterns and emotional undercurrents, connecting dots that most people miss. They can often sense when someone is being disingenuous or hiding something beneath a friendly facade. When they call it out, not necessarily with words, but with a look, a pause, or a shift in their energy, it can feel unnerving. It's like being quietly read like a book without giving permission. INFJs often carry an energy of purpose and quiet intensity. They usually have an internal compass that points unwaveringly toward their values and vision. They are idealists, but not naive ones. Their goals are often long-term and meaningful, rooted in some desire to improve the world or make a real difference. When someone with such clarity of purpose walks into a room, it can make others reflect on their own lack of direction or uncertain motivations. That comparison can feel threatening, even when the INFJ isn't doing anything overt to draw it out. They are also incredibly private. INFJs tend to keep their innermost thoughts and feelings tightly guarded, sharing only with a trusted few. This reserve can come across as mysterious or aloof. When someone is difficult to read, people often project their own fears or assumptions onto them. The INFJ's silence or emotional restraint can be mistaken for judgment or superiority, especially by those who are more emotionally expressive or insecure. INFJs also have the ability to be both gentle and firm at the same time. They're compassionate, often to a fault, but that doesn't mean they'll bend their values for anyone. When pushed too far, they can draw boundaries with a startling fierceness that seems to come out of nowhere. This sudden assertiveness, especially from someone who's otherwise soft-spoken or nurturing, can catch people off guard and leave a lasting impression. INFJs are not doormats, and when they push back, it's with clarity and finality that can make even the most domineering personalities pause. Their perfectionism and high expectations, both for themselves and others, can also contribute to their intimidating presence. They hold themselves to a standard that is often impossibly high, and by comparison, others may feel inadequate or judged, even if the INFJ isn't consciously doing the judging. Their tendency to overthink, analyze, and look for meaning in every situation can make them seem intense or overly serious, especially in a world that often favors lightheartedness and casual indifference. INFJs are also capable of disappearing. When they feel emotionally unsafe, drained, or disillusioned, they retreat completely. This vanishing act is usually sudden and unexplained, and for people who relied on the INFJ's presence or warmth, it can feel like emotional whiplash. That ability to withdraw without a trace, to go entirely dark without looking back, lends them a sense of control and detachment that is both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Their deep internal world, their unwavering authenticity, and their silent strength also make INFJs intimidating. They're not loud, they're not flashy, but they leave a mark. Their ability to pierce through illusion, to hold space for truth, and to walk through life with quiet purpose demand a kind of respect that doesn't have to be asked for. It's simply felt. INFJs are walking paradoxes, idealistic yet realistic, gentle yet unyielding, private yet perceptive, introverted yet people-focused. People can't quite figure them out, and that ambiguity alone can be intimidating. The human mind naturally wants to categorize and predict people. When someone doesn't fit neatly into those boxes, it creates unease. INFJs don't play into expectations. They're not emotionally loud, but they're not cold. They're not extroverted, but they can be captivating conversationalists. They're deeply feeling, but their faces often betray nothing. It's not that INFJs are trying to be mysterious. Their quiet nature isn't an act. It's simply how they function. But because their internal world is so rich and often shielded, people are left with questions, and unanswered questions create tension. That tension builds the kind of intrigue that makes some people feel drawn in, and others feel deeply unsettled. It's the classic INFJ enigma. People want to get closer, but when they try, they realize there's no easy path in. INFJs often carry a kind of emotional and spiritual weight in how they occupy space. Even when they're silent, you feel them. Their energy tends to be contemplative, focused, and unwavering, which can be overwhelming to people who are more scattered or shallow in their approach to life. INFJs look at you like they see you, and that's powerful, because when someone looks at you like that, you can't hide. And when you're used to hiding, that gaze can be terrifying. Then there's their moral spine. INFJs are known for being deeply principled, often operating from a strong internal code that they won't bend or break, even under pressure. This kind of internal clarity is rare, and when other people's values are more fluid or situational, encountering someone so rooted can feel like standing in front of a mirror that reflects not just who they are, but who you aren't. People often describe INFJs as intense, not because they're confrontational, but because they bring out truths others might not be ready to face. That honesty, delivered softly but unshakably, hits harder than yelling ever could. INFJs also have a way of remembering things, details, moments, emotional cues that can feel almost eerie. You might forget something you said in passing, but they won't. They store it, not for manipulation or leverage, but because they care deeply and observe everything. That kind of recall and emotional memory makes others feel bare, especially if they're used to people being inattentive or disinterested. When someone remembers who you were at your lowest or most vulnerable and still sees you clearly, it can make you feel known, but it can also make you feel seen through. And not everyone is ready for that kind of visibility. INFJs move like shadows, love like oceans, and disappear like ghosts. And for many, facing someone like that means facing themselves. And that's what makes them truly intimidating.